Let me make sure. Let me paste this in here. Paste. All right. Hold it down. Okay. Hey everybody, I see you all popping in. I'm just gonna paste something in the comment section really quickly, and then we can get ready to rock and roll. Let's see. And then let me pin this for you all. There we go. All right, let me make sure I have everything done properly, and then we're gonna get started. And I'll give you all a little bit more time to pop in. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, while we wait, I'll just kind of give you a look at the studio. I am at NBC 12 News in Richmond, Virginia. This is just a little behind the scenes look. We just wrapped up our 7 o'clock show on the CW. Okay. Make sure that's sitting there. All right. I'll give it about another minute or two before I get started. If you all have any questions, there is a question mark icon at the bottom, and I will definitely do my best to address all of your questions before we wrap up tonight. And then you can also follow me on Mikea on TV on Instagram, and I'm always happy to, answer questions or just anything. If you want to reach out, I am available. Okay. Did that. All right, what time is it? 7:33. I'll start at 7:35. So I'll give it 2 minutes. In the meantime, for those who are on, I'll just go ahead and start to introduce myself, and then I'll let everyone know what's going on as they pop in. So my name is Mikea Turner. I'm super grateful to have DC Now reach out for the Small Biz Takeover. I've had some of the founders on the show early on when I was back in DC, and I had a weekend morning show for WUSA 9, the CBS affiliate there. So I recently accepted a full-time anchor position here in Richmond, Virginia with On Your Side, NBC 12 News. I love it. I've been here about 3 months now, so things are going pretty good. Just very busy, very fast-paced. And I'm always excited to just take the opportunity to talk to folks about how to break into this industry, because let's be real, it can be challenging. And, I think a lot of us, we see people on Instagram or different social media platforms, and we think that, this business is so glamorous and it's so easy to break into, but it's a grind. It is definitely a grind. So let's see, what time is it? Okay, 7:35. So I'm going to get started. Again, my name is Mikea Turner. I am a evening news anchor here at NBC 12 in Richmond, WWBT in Richmond, Virginia. And just started here recently. So tonight we're going to talk about how to become a news reporter, right? Before we go into some of the pointers that I have for you guys, I just wanted to take a moment to give you a little bit of background about my story, how I got started. Thank you guys so much for popping in. I see a few of you on here. This is awesome. Again, there is a question mark icon that you can see at the bottom of your screen. And if you have any questions, you can be sure to upload them there. And also just comment, let's make this fun. So I got started in journalism the year that I graduated, but I'm not gonna sugarcoat anything. When I graduated from college, I had no job, right? Fresh out of college, I had a number of internships. This included internships at the CBS affiliate in DC, Entertainment Tonight in New York. I also worked for Rutgers Television Network. That's where I went, Rutgers University. And when I graduated, I thought I was set, right? I'm like, my resume looks great. I have all of this internship experience. I'm good to go. But that was not the case. You know, I was applying several places and being told, you know, we're looking for someone with more experience. So breaking into the industry was, it was difficult. It took a few months, but I had the idea to go to a local cable news station where I'm from. I'm from just outside of DC, Prince George's County. And I walked into Prince George's Community Television and told them, you know, I was a college graduate, and looking for my first opportunity. Were they hiring? They were not hiring at the time, so I asked if I could volunteer. And essentially, that's how I launched my career. They said yes. Went in 2-3 times a week. A month later, I was offered a part-time job, and then 3 months later, I was offered a full-time job. And that sort of opened the door to all of the other opportunities that lied ahead. So, you know, when I talk about creating opportunities, which is one of the pointers I'm going to go into, that's what I mean. Just being able to just get your foot in the door any way you can, even if you're not making money, you know, when you first start out. It's all about the just networking and about that experience. So I definitely want to get into that. After I went to this, after I became a reporter and then a fill-in anchor at the community television station, less than a year, I was out and went to WBOC. That is the Fox CBS affiliate, dual affiliate near Ocean City in Salisbury. From there, I made a giant leap to Washington, D.C. Just huge blessing to be able to do what I love at home. There I was literally did everything. Morning live reporter, and then I was the weekend morning anchor and fill-in traffic anchor. So I did a little bit of everything there, and then other opportunities opened up for a Monday through Friday full-time anchor job. So it has been quite the journey, and I just want to let you guys know, you know, the quote that I put on the flyer, if your dreams aren't big enough, you know, if your dreams don't scare you, they're not big enough. Dream big, you know, like whatever it is that you're passionate about, give it all of your energy and just do what it takes. Acquire the skills to really make it your own. And I'm telling you, things are going to take off. So, you know, I don't want anyone to ever feel discouraged when you are trying to go after something, especially a job at broadcast journalism that's tough to break into. You just work hard, and I'm telling you, things are going to happen. So that's what tonight is all about. I just wanted to share a little bit of my journey, and then I want to help many of you who are interested in the same type of journey as well. So again, for those popping in, thank you so much for joining me. I'm on my dinner break, spending this with you guys, and I'm super excited. If you have questions, please, please, please ask them. That's what I'm here for. I want to be a resource for all of you. And if you've been following my Instagram page or just any of my platforms, Mikea on TV is my Instagram page. You know, I'm really passionate about just mentoring aspiring journalists and just really helping people reach their goals, because honestly, when I was breaking into the business, I wish I had more of that guidance and more, you know, someone who could really mentor me. So this is just something I really enjoy. You know, I love to give back. So, all right, so hey Keisha. All right, so let me talk about a couple of things for those who are interested in how to become a news reporter. I say that every dream just starts out with a vision. So I want many of you to just envision what it is that you want and take some time to really think about that. When I talk about this vision, you know, where do you see yourself working? And think about why, right? What I tell many of my mentees is once you just think about that vision, I want you to make a list. And it can be anywhere from maybe 5 to 10 places that you see yourself working, that you think would be a dream place to work. And I want you to make that list. And then what I tell people to do is to, you know, see what is required. In this case, to be a news reporter, what type of skills do you need? Many of these reporting jobs do require an undergrad degree, a bachelor's in journalism, so you can start out by finding a program that has a good journalism program where you can start to build those skills. But it's really something that you can also do when you're at home, right? This just, you know, entails being a good storyteller, you know, finding good stories to tell, finding people who will really, you know, help you to relate, you know, make something relatable, a topic relatable to others. It's all about amplifying voices. So I want you to make that list of where you envision yourself working when it comes to journalism. And then once you do that, do some research about that company. I want you to find people who actually work there. And that's the beauty of social media, right? We can track down some of our favorites. We can get, in some cases, a look behind the scenes at what their duties entail, what their life is like. And then, be bold. Reach out to them. Let them know that, you're interested in breaking into the industry as well. Do they have any advice, any tips that they can give you? I want to tell you a quick story that happened to me when I was in college. I would oftentimes, I pretty much watch all of the network news programs, but I remember specifically waking up and I would catch a young black man, Terrell Brown. He's now a super popular anchor out in Chicago. And Terrell at the time was in his late 20s, and he was doing the Up to the Minute for CBS National News. So here I am in college with dreams of becoming, a news reporter and one day a news anchor, and I'm looking at this man that looked just like me in his 20s on national TV. And I wondered, oh my gosh. And he was so talented. And I was like, wow, I wonder what it took for him to get there. So what did I do? Looked him up on Facebook, because at the time that's what everybody was really using. I just sent him a message. Said I'm a college student. I one day dreamed to be where he is, and if he could offer any advice. I wasn't sure if I was going to get any kind of feedback or anything back, but hours later, Terrell responded with some invaluable advice. So I say, don't be afraid to reach out to people that you admire and to pick their brains and to get some feedback as well. If you have a talent reel or just any material that you want people to look at, don't be afraid to reach out and to talk to them. I know right now we are in a pandemic. So for those who, if you are in college, you're looking for an internship, it's challenging, no doubt about that. But what's also kind of cool about the times that we're in right now is just the amount of remote opportunities. And this also won't even limit you to your local news stations or any local media companies. Look for remote opportunities that may be out there, and that could also be a way in the door. I also tell people, you may not always get the dream job right up front. I mean, it's a grind, it's a hustle, but it's okay, I think, at least to get your foot in the door. Kind of do what I did. Volunteer if there are no opportunities. If you want it bad enough, say, hey, listen, I just want the experience, okay? I just want to sharpen my skills. So, you never know. That could literally lead to so many other opportunities. And in my case, that's how I got in the industry. I broke in by working for free. But eventually you do need to get what you're worth. But I will tell you, the money will come. It really will. Just work hard, and I'm telling you, the opportunities and the money, it will come. I also want to let you guys know, while you have some time, if you haven't had an internship, if you haven't had any opportunities to kind of get that behind the scenes look or get that practical experience, there's some things that you can do at home to work on your skills, right? We're storytellers. Journalists are storytellers. So I encourage, especially my mentees, read your local papers, or just pull an idea from your local TV station, or social media. Go to a rally. If there's bad weather, like in a weather event, take a camera. You can buy a cheap camera from Best Buy or go on Amazon, and I say just go out, buy a lavalier, and just practice how to do stand-ups. Practice how to write stories, tell stories. Get some editing software. Practice how to edit. It's pretty important, I think, to learn how to do a little bit of everything, because multimedia journalists are very common right now in the industry, and a lot of news stations want you to know how to do it all. So, just be open-minded into learning a little bit of everything. If you have a pen and paper close by, before I go to my next topic, I'm going to give you a couple of very helpful websites, and I definitely want to take some questions, and I see a couple of comments here. Thank you all for being engaging. Wix.com is basically the website that I used to create my own. Then I bought my own domain name. So Wix.com has thousands of user-friendly templates, and use that to market yourself. Market yourself. I literally cannot stress that enough. It's really good to have pretty much all of your experience all in one place. It was really easy when I was applying for jobs to just send this one link at the click of a button. And then once you go to, my website, you don't even have to ask questions. It is laid out there for you. So Wix, Wix.com is such a great place to make your own website. For those who are looking for entry-level reporter jobs or anchor jobs, tvjobs.com is a database where in real time you can actually see what news stations are hiring, and you can see the requirements that they're looking for, and they'll even sometimes give you the salary that's being offered. So tvjobs.com, that database, you can click the time frame of however long you want to have it, and you'll pay for that service. I think the cheapest is maybe like $20, $30 for like a certain amount of time. But I found that to be very useful. So at least you are in the know of what's opening. Stationindex.com is basically a list of all of your markets from big to small. And, you know, if you have a certain city in mind, I say go to stationindex.com, click that city, you know, the market size, and find out all of the news stations that are in that market. Check those websites, and you can also see what's being offered. So there's a number of ways to just kind of find out where those opportunities are. And then, you know, like I said, through internships, remote work, or just practicing on your own time, you know, getting some of your own equipment, you know, it can prepare you for some of these opportunities. So before I move on to my next point, I'm just going to make 3 really big points during these 30 minutes. I want to see if you all have any questions with regards to creating your own opportunities. And trust me, like, don't let any closed doors stop you. Don't let no's, you know, make you feel discouraged. I've been the kind of person, I use that as fuel. Right? You tell me I can't do something, oh, I'm gonna show you, okay? That's the kind of attitude you wanna have. Don't be discouraged. But before I move on, I'm just gonna scroll up to see if you all had any questions that I can see. Okay. Oh, Curly Yoshi Vibes. I love to hear this. You said that you reached out to others in the industry that you're trying to be a part of, scared and all, but it was worth it. You have to be bold. I love that. And I'm telling you, you know, if the first 2 or 3 people don't respond, keep trying, you know, because eventually someone is going to respond to you, and it really does make all the difference. Yes, Keisha, all about storytelling and amplifying voices. That's what we do. And I'm so happy to be able to do that now in another market, but to still have ties back home in the DC area. All right, I want to move on to networking, how to maximize social media and other events that will connect you with people that may help you. Again, just back to my point, using social media to really connect. How many of you have Instagram friends, people that you've never met, but you know, you're rooting for them and they're rooting for you? Like, social media is just another place where we can just really build connections. And some of those connections can be so useful. Again, just be bold, reach out, follow people, you know, follow their journey, ask questions. You know, if there's a city you're interested in working in specifically, you know, find news reporters, news anchors in that market that you can reach out to and just talk to them a little bit about your plans. And also, you never know. And then too, you may never know if you're talking to a friend or a friend of a friend. You know, be vocal about what it is that you want, because you never know who knows who. I'm telling you, it is a small world out here. Like, you never know who knows who. So just be very bold, be very vocal. I know when it comes to different news conferences, NABJ, NAHJ, AAJ, the AAJA, different conferences that have different networking events, take full advantage of those as well. Many of them have career fairs. And you can really build some connections there. LinkedIn is also a very useful platform. You know, just take full advantage. Social media can really open doors and connect you with those who can really make a difference in your goals. My other point that I wanted to make, learn it all just in case. Multimedia journalists are very prevalent these days. You would be surprised. Don't think that, oh, Washington, D.C. or top 10 market, top 20 market, you're not going to be picking up a camera and editing, because there are some stations that do require that. At WUSA 9, I was a multimedia journalist. Before I went to WUSA 9, I was WBOC, and I did everything from hooking up my own live shots to shooting my stories, of course, writing my stories, editing my stories, and then writing the web version of my story. So I just say this to say, be open to learning how to do a little bit of everything, because you never know when you're going to need to use those skills. You know, I was pretty grateful. While it can be a lot of work and very exhausting sometimes, when the pandemic hit and we all went remote and we were doing reports from our living rooms, from my kitchen table, I was getting my interviews via Zoom. Sometimes I would go out and shoot B-roll, and then I would sit there and have to edit sometimes before our morning show. So, you never know when those skills are going to come in handy, especially because we're in the heart of a pandemic. It can always come in handy. So, YouTube University, it's a great place to be. If you have some questions, you can learn some things, type it in on YouTube. How to use Edius, which was the editing software that we used in DC. Shout out to you too, SafariMon. Edius is a good software. It's very similar to Adobe Premiere, which is very user-friendly, I find. I learned how to edit on Final Cut Pro. So you have a number of options out there. And again, if you want to learn how to do it, I remember when I learned how to use Final Cut Pro, I locked myself literally in a room when I was working at RUTV. I was in that room, it must have been like 7 hours just learning how to use Final Cut Pro. And I tell you, when I was done, when those 7 hours were over, I knew how to at least cut both sides. So I just say, there's all sorts of resources out here that you can use and turn to learn different skills. And when I say, reaching out to people that you admire in the business, it's okay. Ask them for feedback. One thing that I've enjoyed is looking at people's aspiring journalists, their reels. More recently, I helped a young lady. She'll be graduating from Hampton University soon, and I helped her land her first job. But I took some time with her, before we made this happen, to look at some of the content that she had. News directors, they understand when you're coming out of college, or if this is your first television opportunity to tell stories, they understand that you're not going to come with a ton of experience. They just want to know that you can do some of the basics. You can tell a story, that you can open your mouth, go out here, ask good questions, and really have the best interests of the community you're serving at heart. And I'm telling you, they can spot the talent and the potential. And so, I tell you, ask for feedback. I love to give feedback. A standard reel, I would say, is maybe like 5 stand-ups and then 2 to 3 packages. One dealing with crime, the other is something tied into politics, and then the third package, I would say, could be a feature. But I would also try to keep that reel to about 5 or 6 minutes, because realistically, a lot of news directors are super busy, and they're probably not going to look at more than maybe 3 to 4 minutes of that reel, unless it's really grabbing their attention. So again, just a number of resources out there. You can pull story ideas, again, from Twitter, look up your local county council meeting, see what they're talking about, see what that agenda is going to be talking about, and you can pull ideas from there. So just all sorts of ways to get started, at least. I don't want you to be discouraged. I know how that feels. Again, for those just popping on, I'm Mikea Turner. I meant to reintroduce myself a couple minutes ago because I just went over a lot of information. But my name is Mikea Turner. I am an evening news anchor for NBC 12 News. This is down in Richmond, Virginia. Before I came here 3 months ago, I was at WUSA 9, the CBS affiliate in Washington, D.C., which is also where I'm from, D.C. area, Prince George's to be exact. And I was there for about 5 years as a weekend morning anchor, morning live reporter, and a fill-in traffic anchor. So again, I did a little bit of everything, but this was just a wonderful opportunity I could not pass up. But again, for those just popping in, I got into the business by just volunteering at a local cable news station when I couldn't land my first job. It was so hard. So many places were saying we want people with more experience. And it was tough breaking in. But I tell you, once you get in and a place sees your work ethic, the sky is the limit. It opens doors. So even if you do have to get started somewhere and you aren't making any money when you first start out, it's a blessing to at least just get that experience. And I'm telling you, doors will open. The hardest part about my career was getting into it. So, get started, work your butt off, and I'm telling you, doors will open. Okay, I want to take some time to answer some questions. Let's see. Thank you to consistency and making sure what you report is accurate has not gone unnoticed. You're so sweet. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So happy to see you all pop in. Looks like we have a question, and I want to open this question on the screen here. All right. From Anaya. Hi, Mikea. I just received a job opportunity as a reporter in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Congratulations. However, it is a reporter position with a newspaper. Let's see. I can't see the rest of that question. Let me see. How can I make it bigger? Let's see. Sorry, you guys. I just want to make sure that I am not missing anyone. Okay, it's with the newspaper. Anaya, if you are still on here and you are watching, can you finish your question in the comment section? I don't want to miss it. Let me see. All right, while we wait for if Anaya is still in here, definitely want to answer your question. If anyone else has questions, I am more than happy to answer them. I am on my dinner break with you guys. I want to make sure I spend this time wisely. Okay, so Anaya, I couldn't see the rest of your question, but I'm so happy that you have an opportunity. That would be great. And one more thing I do want to mention too, because I know a lot of us, we're probably from, big cities, or we want to be in one. There's nothing wrong with a small market. And remember, your first stop isn't your last stop. One thing I say, if you do get started in a smaller market, so for me, even though I started at Prince George's Community TV, and then went to Salisbury, the places like that, they give you an opportunity to learn. They know that you are there to learn. If you make a mistake, it is forgivable, okay? In the smaller markets. If you're in a larger market, by then they expect you to be done with the mistakes, right? We're all human, we make them, but when you're starting out, it is perfectly okay to just do it somewhere where you can really hone in on those skills. And again, stationindex.com is a really good resource to look for some of those smaller to medium-sized markets. And for those who are wondering what markets are, they're basically cities, the size of the city. So New York, the #1 market, obviously the biggest city, the state, biggest city, and then the cities, the markets go all the way into like the 200s. But I think Salisbury was market 143 for me, and it was definitely a journey there, trying to learn and become so skilled at a number of things, again, as a multimedia journalist. But again, those places do help you hone in on your skills and to perfect them. Okay, looks like Anaya, I can see. Okay, great. All right, let's read your question. Let's see. You're wondering, will this experience, okay, hi, Mikea. It's a reporter position with a newspaper station. I'm wondering, will this experience in a smaller market give me the experience needed for a bigger market or TV reporting? This is right up my alley. Anaya, absolutely. When I tell you I jumped from market 143 to market 8, a top 10 market, anything is possible. When you do start, again, in the smaller markets, which do prepare you for medium-sized markets or even bigger markets, top 20 markets, top 10 markets, it's just all about acquiring the skills that are going to help you survive. So, for example, at WBOC, we weren't allowed to anchor unless we knew how to produce. And in doing so, I had to produce I was a weekend evening anchor at one point at BOC, and I had to produce one of my shows. So not only was I a reporter, but I was trained on how to produce. And then in turn, it just made my writing even better. I was also a fill-in weather forecaster. Kind of did a little bit of everything there. But I'm telling you, the more skills that you acquire and the better you get at it, people are going to notice. At the time, YouTube, a lot of news directors were using YouTube to find newsreels. Channel 9, this is kind of crazy, but I landed my dream job without even applying for it. Someone from corporate found my talent reel on YouTube, and literally, the rest is history. It was incredible. And for a second, I was like, oh my gosh, like this opportunity is huge. And that's why I say, if your dreams don't scare you, they're not big enough. That scared me. I was like, wait a minute, am I ready for this? I always thought that, in bigger markets, it was always, your more seasoned journalist. And I was still mid-20s when I got this call. So that was huge. I tell you, just never doubt yourself. I'm telling you, sometimes we have plans for ourselves, but God's plan is always bigger than our own. You just have to believe in yourself and just put that work in when you get those opportunities, and the opportunities will find you. So, please let that serve as an inspiration from someone who, fresh out of college, couldn't find a job, to breaking into the industry just by volunteering at a local cable station, and then them seeing my work ethic and offering me a part-time gig and then a full-time gig, to it literally leading to my dream job by the age of like 26 was crazy. And now, I just turned 30 and I've pretty much done everything that I wanted to do in my career. Now I'm in an anchor seat, which was another goal of mine. So anything is possible. Dream big, work hard. Don't be afraid to reach out to people that you admire. Be bold. Let's see. What role does professional networks like NABJ help in getting into certain positions? So, okay, let me tell you about conferences like NABJ, right? One of the more popular events at NABJ is the career fair. I mean, you have execs there, news directors, producers. People have literally been hired on the spot at some of these conferences, at these career fairs. So that is huge. I know this year they're gonna go remote again, and I know last year they did. And they do set up virtual one-on-ones. It's a whole virtual career fair. And to my surprise, it was actually easy to navigate once I got the ball rolling and kind of figured out how everything would work. But events like those, conferences like those are huge because it's just kind of, you have everyone in one spot, right? So I definitely encourage people to sign up for, conferences like that. There's other events you may spot on social media, or, just ask around to people in the business, if there are other virtual, since that's the way we're doing things in a pandemic. But those can be really good for networking. And then the workshops, of course, are just amazing when it comes to sharpening your skills and just being able to ask experts, some questions, or veterans some questions. So yeah, hopefully that helps. And I want to make sure I don't miss anyone else. Let's see, we have another question down here. All right, let's see your question. Jayla, hi, I'm a sophomore in college at GMU, and I was wondering, George Mason University, I'm assuming, and I was wondering, do you have any advice on finding internships? Oh man, Jayla, I wish I had just really, really good advice. I know it's so difficult right now, but I would say find out if the local news stations in your area are still offering internships. Some of them may be virtual internships. I'm not quite sure how that operates. But I would also say just try to look for remote opportunities. Even if it's not with a local news station in your area, look for remote opportunities in other parts of the country. Or maybe even globally, depending on exactly what it is that you want to do. But I would try to find remote opportunities, or, definitely reach out to, or maybe even call the local news station and just, call their news desk and just ask them if they have an internship program this semester. And, you can find out that way. But definitely I would pick the phone up, I would call. If there's a specific place you have in mind, and just see what they're doing. And then I would also try and tap into someone who works there, and just, kind of just ask them some questions too about their internship program, and just see who you can connect with. Maybe even try to reach out to another local news reporter or producer. You can find them on social media as well, and just kind of ask them what's going on, and just let them know that you're interested and why. Definitely express your passion when you talk to these people, because sometimes you only get one shot and you only get a couple of minutes. So make sure you express, why this is important to you. But again, I would just say, I would call. Check their websites, call, and then reach out to people who work there via social media, or even their emails. But sometimes we get tons of emails, I'm not even gonna lie, and it can be easy to miss them. So I would definitely send an email, call, and then reach out via social media. So I hope that helps. I know times are like, it's so different because of the pandemic. Okay, so this session was until 8. I can go a little bit longer if you all have any more questions. I definitely wanna make sure that I'm able to answer them and be of a useful resource for you guys tonight. You're welcome, Jayla. I really hope that helped you. And, feel free if something else pops up, any other questions pop up tonight or later this week or something, be sure to follow me at Mikea on TV. That's Mike with an A. That's how I tell people they can remember it that way. On TV, and I'll be happy to respond to you. Just shoot me a DM, or sometimes I get a ton of them. So like leave a comment on a picture or something and just tell me to check. And then I can certainly look for your message and try to help you in any way that I can. But listen, I get it. You know, you have this vision, you have this dream, and you're just sitting there and you're like, okay, how do I get started? Where do I get started? And sometimes it is not easy getting started. But again, I just want to remind you all, don't be discouraged. You know, just continue to, you know, hold on to that passion and just really use it as fuel, and just don't let no's and closed doors stop you, because eventually one will open, and then once it opens, I'm telling you, it gets better. The opportunities start pouring in, and the money will definitely follow, especially if it's not up there, if it's not up front. So Inspirational Goddess, thank you so much. I try. All right, guys. Well, I hope that this was very useful to you all. Again, if you have any questions, you can follow me on Mikea on TV. Again, I definitely want to thank DC Now for inviting me as your special guest tonight for the Small Biz Takeover. I think this is just such a great idea to connect all of us, especially in the middle of a pandemic where it's really hard to really get out there and to meet people face to face. So I just want to thank you all for your time tonight. And let's see, just want to check one more time just to make sure I'm not missing anyone. All right. Okay. Well, looks like you all are good to go. I hope to connect with you all. Have a great night. Stay safe out here. Wear that mask. Go get that vaccine when it's your turn, okay? Because we want to be healthy out here and we want to get back to normal. All right, I'm going to sign off now, but I hope you guys take care. All right. Bye.